All right, guys, this is going to be the home of my gym, soon to be. Me and Brian over here, we have been working at cleaning this up for the last 2 days. We had a bunch of stuff hanging from the ceiling here. We cut all that down. I was going to pry it out, but I decided cutting it would be faster. And then there was a bunch of garbage up in here, and I do mean a bunch of bags full of styrofoam and whatever else you can imagine, full of rat shit and rat piss. And then same thing for up here. There's a bunch of boards that they laid across. I had a bunch of garbage and trash. I took down, me and him took down and cleaned out. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rip this decking out here. Like I ripped out the stuff hanging from up there. And then I'm gonna rip out this right here because I don't need that in my gym. And then over here they put plywood in. So I went ahead and picked up some plywood. Back in my truck, I'm going to finish running the plywood over here. I was going to pull this paneling out, but since they already have outlets in it, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it and scrape it down. And I'm going to put some paint on it and just hope for the best. Same thing for over there, for that paneling. Right now we're working on getting these ripped out, all this bullshit ripped out. And then I'm going to start scraping the floor. Got my scraper. I'm going to start scraping the floor, getting all the glue and all the residue and anything else and everything else that might have fallen on the floor over the years of whoever lived here previously. And I'm gonna get all the floor cleaned up, and then after I get the floor cleaned up, we're gonna put the paneling in. And once we get the paneling in, we're going to paint the rafters, not the ceiling or anything, just these rafters right here that run along. I'm gonna paint all those black, and then because the ceiling, we're gonna replace the roof, all the decking and the roof, and next year we're gonna replace all that. I'm gonna leave this plywood up because they caulked it and screwed it in, and I don't feel like fighting with it, so I'm gonna leave that up and just paint that black, and I'll use that as a loft or whatever I might need it for. So, but yeah, once we get the decking in, we're gonna degrease the floors, and we're gonna, with the siding, we're gonna degrease the floors real nice, and then we're gonna paint all these black, and then I'm gonna paint the walls a light gray, and then I'm gonna paint the floor a really dark gray for my equipment so everything matches on the equipment. And then I'm gonna they already got some fixtures up here, but almost all of them don't work. So I'm gonna go buy some fluorescent fixtures. I'm gonna hang them kind of like this guy right here, where it's between the rafters. I'm gonna hang it like that, and that way you kind of get like, when you look up, I wanna say blinded, but it kind of takes away from being able to see the exposed roof, because if the rafters are black when you're looking down, you know, you can't really see up there. So if I make it to when you look up, you're kind of blinded. I'm hoping that takes away from the exposed roof. If not, then eventually I'll come in here and deck it and finish this decking it with plywood. And I can always use it for storage as well. So yeah, paint on the rafters, paint on the walls, concrete sealer on the floor, fluorescent lighting up in here. Finished putting in all the plywood walls over here. And we got ourselves a pretty nice little gym. 4-car garage. The other thing we're gonna do, because of whoever built this before, there's some pretty good gaps in here. We got a wood filler. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill in all the cracks with a wood filler when we paint it, so that way there's no seams. And I was going to do this in drywall, and I was actually going to pull this plywood down and do it in drywall, but I decided to leave the plywood due to the fact that the guy that owned this before really loved electrical, because he had put in a lot of outlets all the way around this. You got outlets up here, you got outlets up here, you got them right there, you got them right there. On the other side of the garage, you got outlets all over there.
18 over here.
Yeah, so apparently there's 18 over here. So I'm not going to deal with them cutting out the plywood or cutting out the drywall with the outlets and everything else. I'm just going to leave it. Then my brother-in-law is going to come over. He's an electrician, and he's going to help me get all this mess sorted out, all this right here, and help me hang the lights and everything else whenever we get to that point. But it's going to be a work in progress. We've been working on it for 2 days. Hopefully today we could get all the paint done, and we could get all the plywood up, and then we can start getting the equipment moved over here once everything dries. But all right, guys, we'll post a video when we get the drywall up. Well, when we get the paneling up, we'll post another video. Or maybe make another video and put in this one. I don't know. We'll see. All right, guys.